to the ball more too long.
Yeah, I mean, he's had, like I said, he's had a bunch of good plays. He's had a few tough plays along the way. He's growing. He's growing. I mean, I think this kid's going to be amazing, and it's disappointing again when we attack these kids, these people that sit behind these microphones and these things, and they get off by attacking people, and we've just made that acceptable in our world. It's sad, man. It's just sad. We've made it acceptable and okay to just attack people. It's sad. I mean, it really is. This kid works his butt off. He's not perfect. He's growing. I think he's going to be a superstar. I think he's going to be a superstar. I really do. He ain't right now, but he's a hell of a competitor, and he's going to get better and better and better. And I'll go battle that dude any day of the week. Yeah, he's got to do a lot better. There's a couple of plays there that he needs to make. Needs a little bit more poise in the pocket. Needs to let it slow down a little bit. But we all need to do things better. But he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Why don't we get behind him and support him? He's our freaking quarterback. He's our quarterback. Let's get behind him. Let's go compete.
Yeah, but you kind of started to go there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you care less about people attacking you, and it's that they're attacking these kids, these players, and, you know, I hate to bring it back here, but, you know, fans are the first to say, you know, well, they're paid now, so now they're professional athletes, and now with all of, and it's just that side of it that I think I kind of hear from you is the extra frustrating part about this, that they're attacking kids.
And I don't care if they are pro athletes. I don't care if it's a pro athlete. I still don't think it's acceptable to destroy people. People make a living by just attacking people. It's sad. And I don't think that's okay. I don't care if it's I don't even know. Trevor Lawrence playing for the Jaguars right now. I don't care. I don't care what he's paid, man. I don't think you're still human beings. You know, and I still think there's a way to have fair criticism without, you know, just completely demeaning someone's humanity, which is now the clickbait society that we live in, and it's acceptable. I think that's sad. The adults have left the building in this country. I don't participate in it. I mean, I think if you're miserable, it's your own fault. I stay away from that crap. I don't deal with it. Stay away from it.
Coach, you mentioned Tyree made the transition from running back to receiver. He had an incredible punt return in the last game. He's a guy that you really have to wrap up, isn't he? Oh yeah, he's a running back. You know, playing wide out. When he gets that ball, I mean, he knows what to do. He breaks tackles. He's got good vision. He's got collision balance. You know, he's strong. He's a good player. I mean, that was a good move. It was a good move for him. I mean, and they're loaded at back. They got several guys, you know, but it starts with that number 7.
Cade's poise, trying to grow his poise in the pocket. Where is that in relation to the reads he's making? Are you seeing the improvement?
Yeah, he's got a great feel. He sees it. I mean, there's been a few plays where, you know, I wish he'd have maybe either processed it a little quicker or maybe come off. But he really sees it. He's got a great feel for it. He really does. And this kid is smart as they come. And again, he's hyper competitive. He's our best chance to win. There ain't no doubt about it. And we've been in position to win every single game. As horrible as we are, we've been in position to win every single game. And we could just, again, we're going through it's a tough year. It's a tough year. And that's my job to get us, you know, back where we want to be, and we will. We will. We have a lot of good years. Got a long way to go.
Coach, tomorrow is All Saints Day, 15-year anniversary of your first win up at Boston College. Is that always a special time for you to reflect on?
What did you say it was?
15-year
All
anniversary.
Saints Day?
All Saints Day, November 1st.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a Catholic school you beat too.
Okay, well, there you go. Hey, I need an All Saints Day. Yeah, I guess that is. Yeah, that was It was a good day. It was a good day. It was an amazing start to where we are. We had a lot of adversity back then, I can tell you that. And there wasn't many people sitting here in this room that thought I'd get the job. That's for sure. And you probably definitely wouldn't think I'd still be here 15 years later.
No comment.
So, but anyway, that was a cool moment. Appreciate you reminding me of that. You've been the glass half full guy here lately. I need one of them. Thank you for that.
You ever sing ads on your show before last night?
Probably. I don't know. Probably have.
Yes.
I've said a lot worse. Certainly not perfect. That's for sure. I'm far from it.
It's in the Bible.
There you go. I've said a few not in the Bible. Not proud of it, but thankful I've got a God that forgives me.
Some clarity on this pruning you're talking about. Is there any pruning that you think you need to do?
Me? In what regard?
I'm just curious. You mentioned
I'm trying to shed a few pounds. I've pruned about 7-8 pounds off of me. I got a few friends I need to prune. I've got some pruning to do. Yeah, I think it makes us all better. Like I said, that's just. I think the struggle brings out the best in some. It brings out the worst in others. And it's honestly, I've always just embraced it. And when things don't go my way, I lean on my faith. And I know some of y'all get tired of me mentioning my faith, but I'm sorry. I mean, Jeremiah 29:11, it's God's plan, man. It's not mine. And anytime I've been pruned in life, I've come back better. God took me out of coaching. I didn't like it. We got pruned in 2000, December of 2000, my last game at Alabama, and all of a sudden couldn't get a job. And, I got taken out of coaching. I mean, 8 years of coaching. I know everybody thinks I was just a real estate agent and then came to Clemson. But 8 years of coaching, that's all I'd ever done. And then all of a sudden I can't get a job. And we're all fired, and I got 2 little kids and a mortgage and student loans, and I got to go to work. And so, but God, that was an 18-month pruning process. And, I didn't like it, but God, even though I was producing good fruit, again, even healthy trees need to be pruned. And so you can produce more fruit. And those 18 months out of coaching helped me bloom back better than I ever was. Made me a better coach. I think made me a better father, better husband. Gave me a much deeper appreciation for, the privilege of being able to lead young people, the grind, 2-a-days, meetings, long night, late nights. It gave me clarity. It gave me clarity of what I really knew I wanted to do with my life. It gave me complete clarity of what I was called to do. And then God brought me here, and so, again, I've just experienced too many times in my life. Again, I'm 53. There's a lot of these guys have not. I mean, this is, again, I've had many times in my life where it didn't go the way I wanted, and I was mad, angry, frustrated, disappointed. But then time goes and God's plan is revealed, and it's the best thing ever happened to me. And I look back and I'm like, man, thank you, God. I mean, I'm just so thankful. So thankful that it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And then I look back, and again, I'm thankful for all the things in my life. I mean, again, the things that were the greatest struggles and liabilities in my life were my greatest assets in life today. The things that I literally hated as a kid, struggles that I had to deal with, things that we all go through at times and you question why. I mean, I wouldn't change any of that now because but I've got a clarity and I have a different perspective, and that's my opportunity and my responsibility to not let this moment slip by without really teaching a bunch of young hearts and souls who are really hurting because something in life hasn't gone the way they want. Something that they love, something that they've worked really, really hard for has not gone the way they planned it. And so it's a great opportunity for me to teach, and I take full advantage of that. I relish that. And again, you try to do it all the time, but the soil's fertile right now, and that's my responsibility.
Sorry to keep shifting Notre Dame, but they like to run a lot of rub routes down near the end zone with stays. Is that pretty familiar for you guys?
Oh yeah, a bunch of bunch sets, a lot of bunch sets, and again they'll give you some really tough presentations because the run game and then the boots and stuff will come out of it, and then Hartman is really he's poised in the pocket, as far as getting him on the perimeter and creating some of that stuff. I mean, disguising off the runs. He's a good faker. He's really takes a lot of pride in his fakes. I mean, but he's at that point in his career where he's like calculus too, right? And so just the little nuances of the position are very natural to him right now. But yeah, we got to do a great job of communicating, passing things off, IDing what we're doing, because we will definitely see some rub routes and a lot of misdirection.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Hey Dabo, David with ESPN. You talked a lot today about sort of looking back at adversity, and I was wondering, when you kind of compare where Cade was, the interception he threw against Notre Dame last year was probably not one of his favorite moments from his career, but when you kind of compare where he was then to where he is now, how much difference do you see in him as in growth and as a player, quarterback, leader, that kind of thing?
I mean, night and day, and that, after that, we put DJ back in, and I think he ended up going like 27 or 39. I mean, we actually did some good stuff after that point, but up to that, it was pretty bad. But it was a tough situation for him right there, and he's just more prepared. He's just more prepared. He's way more knowledgeable. He's bigger and stronger. He's still got some work to do there. He's very confident in himself and his ability, and he's just got to. He's just progressed. He's still got some levels to go, but he's definitely way ahead of where he was in that moment last year.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, I think mentioned.
I'm sorry, David. I was going to say the other thing. He really hasn't put the ball in jeopardy much. That's something I'm proud of him. I know he sailed one. Kind of had a guy barreling down on him the other day, and he kind of sailed one that Brennan was open, but he really has not put it in jeopardy a lot. He had the one bad. Was it Charleston Southern? He's outside of that. He's been a guy that's had some. He's not thrown a ton of interceptions until Chappell, brought it up. But he's been pretty decisive and pretty in command, and again, not putting the ball in jeopardy in the passing game. So I think he's grown a lot in that area, because that was a boot to the left and tried to throw back, and it was a tough play for us.
You mentioned in your discussion earlier too about you have an idea, or what you think has gone wrong this season. I'm wondering if you would mind elaborating on that. I don't know if you need to give away state secrets or anything like that, but if you kind of identify where things maybe have not gone the way you'd like this year, there's 2 or 3 things that jump out to you.
Well, number 1, we are last in the nation in fumbles. Number 2, we're last in the nation in fumbles. And number 3, we're last in the nation in fumbles. It's all about the ball. And yet we got a double overtime loss, an overtime loss, and then, all right, I'll give you number 4. Because of where we've had the missed plays, we're last or near last in red zone scoring. And so there you go, right there. I mean, you can just leave everything else the way it is, normal football stuff. You've got some injuries. You got some guys that maybe not play quite as much as you want. You missed a few plays, kind of normal football stuff. But let's just start right there. You're not going to win football games when you turn the ball over at least twice a game. You're not. And we've been in position to, somehow, some way, we've still had a chance to win. And that's a credit to the character and the heart and the will to win of our guys. I'm proud of that. But that's it. I mean, I think we're 4th in the country in red zone opportunities in getting there. and we're last or near the bottom in actually scoring. So that's been a problem. And, everybody wants some big miraculous answer, but you're not going to win when you turn the ball over the way we have. And it's been freaky. It's been some crazy stuff that's happened, but that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, and 3 is we lead the nation in fumbles. And if we don't lead the nation in fumbles, we're 8-0. That's just the way it is. And we're having a different conversation today on Halloween. All right, we're getting treats, and today we're getting tricks. That's what we've earned.
Hey, Dabo, it's Pete at AP. A couple of non-Tyler related questions. The Notre Dame here
I'm
in
sure
2015.
Tyler is a great guy, and he just had a bad day. Like we all have bad days.
Notre Dame here in 2015. There wasn't a lot. Maybe you guys hadn't really emerged with that run yet. You were emerging. What did that game mean and that atmosphere mean, especially with all the rain coming down, for where this program has gone since then?
I mean, well, let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14. We were coming off 4 10-plus win seasons at that time. We'd had plenty of big wins. I think we had beaten Virginia Tech a couple of times. We'd beaten LSU. We'd beaten Ohio State. We'd beaten Oklahoma. So I think we were in a pretty good spot. We weren't perfect, though, but we were in a position where I think we were just, trying to put our head down and keep working and getting better. And that year, hey, we went 14-0. And that was one of those years we kind of caught a lot of breaks and went our way. And then the difference in that year and this year, and this is what people that don't do this for a living really understand, is especially in this outside-in world that everybody lives in today, is how critical a little momentum and confidence is early. It's critical. And so that was a momentum game, right? I mean, it was a game that just fueled us. It was a hurricane. I mean, they might have been top 5. I can't remember. Sixth in the country. It was a moment is one of those games, like this year, the Clemson Florida State game, right? I mean, we never trailed in the game until overtime, and then we get the one turnover, difference in the game, miss a simple kick, had a chance to stop them one time, didn't stop them. So it's a couple plays, but when you win a game like that, it just creates a ton of confidence. It creates a ton of momentum. Even though the same problems are there, the narratives are different, the noise is different, et cetera. And next thing you know, confidence breeds confidence. Momentum is a powerful thing. And that particular game just was a gritty, hard-fought game, and we made one more play than they did. And it gave us a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence. And, man, boom, we took it. And, and to be able to do it over and over and over again, year after year after year after year after year, it's incredible. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. And I'm really, that was really one of my favorite memories. That moment, it was awesome. The valley was packed. I mean, you couldn't. I remember the third quarter, you couldn't even see across the field. But it was a momentum game. And we haven't. That's the one thing we haven't been able to do this year. We've had chances to get momentum. I mean, again, we had 500 yards in the Duke game, and I don't know. We were unbelievable on third down. We did so many good things, but we had the ball first and goal on the 1. 4 trips inside the 10, we get nothing, and so those would have been momentum opportunities just within that game. And then the same thing, you overcome that. You get to the Florida State game, a chance to create a little momentum, and we just, and so then you don't win it, it's the opposite, right? It's a ton of noise, it's a ton of negativity, fire all the coaches, fire all the players, everybody stinks, and it's a fine line. But that's the world we live in. And so momentum and confidence is huge, and that's what that did for us. And then again, we had an opportunity, the Miami game, couldn't quite get it. So we've never been able to quite get the momentum that I think helps you. And so then all of a sudden, again, you start playing tight, you start pressing, and it's you're in a fight, and you either gonna fight back or you're gonna lay down.
Got time for one
You know,
more.
also,
Go ahead, Pete.
on your defense I think is top 10 in yards allowed this year. The red zone and scoring numbers don't quite match up to that. Is it just because of the bad spots that they've had to start from in some cases this year? How does that, is there a different mentality?
Well, let's start with all the offensive points that we've given our defense. Let's start with that. How many points has the offense scored for the other team? A bunch. There you go. So that's 21 points right there. And then we gave them one on the 1 yard line. So that's 28. Good luck, boys. Go get them. So our defense is good enough to have won it all this year. Fact. And that's disappointing. But we're a team. We're all in it together. But our defense, I'm really proud of those guys. Man, Wes has done an amazing job. And, you can't ask those guys, just like last week. I know we had 2 plays, but, they gave up 17 points. That's enough to win. That's enough to win. And, we can't ask them to be perfect right now. And, again, even though we've had all the turnovers, when you have that type of deal, you got to compensate somewhere. And we've had a chance to still make one more stop or one more play. But in totality, our defense is good enough they were good enough this year to be a Final Four team. And if you can be a Final Four team, anything can happen. And, that's a shame because it is, as I said, it's kind of a season of what could have been. But, we can't worry about that. We got to find a way. We still get a chance, whether we were 8-0 or we're 4-4, we're going to play this game. And if you're a competitor, you want to go play your butt off and compete to win. So we'll get a chance we'll learn a lot these next 4 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. We're going to learn a lot about a lot of people. A lot to learn about our team, and we'll see how these guys going to fight, man. It'll be good. But Wes and the staff, man, they've been a heck of a defense all year, and it's a shame that we haven't been able to take care of the ball better and reward them because if we didn't lead if we were just 50th in the country in fumbles, we'd be having a different conversation today. It's really that simple. I know everybody wants some narrative and drawn out. It's that simple.
In your mind, when it comes to the fans,
Last question here.
in your mind, where do you draw the line between fair criticism of a team and a program versus lack of support, not giving the fair support?
I think it's pretty easy to see where that line is. Fair criticism is fair criticism. I got no problem with that. There are no issues with that at all. That's the world we live in. But when it's hateful and personal and demeaning, especially to the kids on this team, if you can't figure that out, then I got no answer for you. And that's the problem. We don't, as a society, we don't know where that line is anymore. You know why? Because there ain't no line. And it's sad. There's no line anymore. There's none. It's sad.
All right.
Criticism is warranted. We're 4-4. This is freaking Clemson. All right? We've built this is, ain't nobody happy. And this is one of the greatest programs in the history of college football. What's happened here these last 12 years. And ain't nobody going to ever change that. That's what we've done. And we've beaten the best of the best to do it. 6 Final Fours, that ain't ever going to happen again. I don't think it'll ever happen again. We'll see. Time will tell. But I know this, I got a long way to go. I got a long way to go in this profession. And, I'm going to fight like crap to if they want me back here, I'll fight like crap to get this place back to the standard. This is a bad year in the midst of an amazing journey that we've had, and I'm not going to let anything steal my joy of what I do. I have a lot of joy in my job. I have a lot of joy in what I do. It doesn't mean I'm happy, but I have a lot of joy in what I do. And I'm not going to let winning become a relief. I'm not going to allow that to happen. And so the fun shouldn't be in the winning. And if it gets to where it's not fun anymore, then hey, we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks.